What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 5th day of July. Here we are with about 8 hours left in the day, sitting here at 1.377 cents and looking like we're not stopping, we're dropping, and we're going to zero. Probably not. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go a little bit lower. Looking at this from an overall low back on April 7th to the high that we had on the 11th there. Just such a short amount of time to make a 260% pump, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. A lot of potential in this thing. Golden ratio support, 382 rejection, back below the 0.5. I mean, at this point in time, it's very possible that we could return back to this golden ratio zone and even see maybe a double bottom, a slightly higher low, or maybe even a slightly lower low, and we could go down a little bit lower. But I'm not necessarily expecting that. It is the weekend. And if we just move down a little bit inch by inch over the weekend, and the new week comes in, Bitcoin starts moving up, the rest of crypto starts moving up, I would assume that we do too. So I'm not expecting too much of a drop, but a little bit lower from here would be the expectation, I suppose. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, a little bit bearish on the 1 hour candles here, right? Wicking down like this, or I guess you wicked up. You've got this bearish candle right here, and you're at the low points, right? Dropping without a whole lot of volume. Volume has increased relative to this kind of consolidation phase, but it is the weekend, so there's not that much volume coming in. A lot of volume on this 1 hour candle where we're wicking down, 7 minutes left in this 1 hour, so I would think that we go a little bit lower. Do we find support here? Do we find a relative double bottom? That's probably not going to happen, but from a low here to a high, let's just go to the high, not the fake out highs. I would think we see 1.36 to 1.35 cents, and being that this is such a small fib range, it's very possible that we could go all the way down to like 1.32 cents at the most. I wouldn't think that we go below that. Okay. Looking at the indicators, the 1 hour RSI does look bearish. It looks very bearish. The 1 hour stochastics look bearish, and the MACD looks bearish. So all of those things agree. Why do they look bearish, C-Zar? You can't just say they look bearish and not explain, because I'll get that in the comments, man. People will be like, okay, I get that you say it's bearish, but why should I believe that? Okay, well, with the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, typically whenever you're below the 50, you're showing signs of weakness, and it's not like extreme weakness, but it gets weaker as you go down. In other words, it's strength, but to the downside effect, right, to the bearish effect, weakness. If you're going to the upside, if you're above the 50, that's showing strength, and the further up you go, the stronger you are, the more bullish upside strength you're showing, right? We've been living below the 50. We've rejected the 50. We're about to get oversold. Bearish. Stochastics couldn't even get overbought, and now they're oversold again. Bearish. MACD gave it its best effort to get this oscillator above the zero line, which would be nice. Whenever you do that, you get some nice moves generally. 1 hour time frame, a nice move is not that big, but still, you couldn't even do that. Now we're crossing back down while being below the zero line. Bearish. Okay, does that make sense? 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame here. We look at this. We'll go to the price action. I want to take a high, low to a high. Let's take a couple low to highs and see if we line up with. Oh, look at that. Yeah, and with this, man, typically, and this is the 4 hour time frame, so it's a little bit more significant, but nothing too crazy. Typically, in this kind of situation, I would expect that we just go right down to the golden ratio. I don't think that we would go below that, but I would have why can't I talk? I would have confidence, strong conviction that we would hold 1.3 cents as support. I don't think that we go below there. So that kind of throws out the idea of getting a double bottom or slightly lower low. We're going with the slightly higher low idea of this low that we formed back in June 2020 or June 22nd. I cannot talk, man. I can talk. I can do it, but probably not. Golden ratio support, that's what I would expect. 1.34 cents. We're at 1.38 cents now. So a little bit lower. A little bit lower to go. Let's see if the 4 hour time frame agrees. We know the 1 hour does. Yep, the 4 hour looks bad. Stochastics rejecting the oversold zone. Bad. MACD. Not bad because you're decaying in bearish momentum, but if you start picking that up, you get a lower low and you get some bullish divergence. I mean, that's actually a good thing. And we've kind of done that already, haven't we? Right? Decaying here. And then you get a lower low, and this reading here is actually at a higher low. So lower low in the price, higher low in the histogram. Bullish divergence is forming, but might have a little bit more to go before it's resolved, if that makes sense. And a little bit more points right to 1.34 cents, in my opinion. Looking at the daily time frame here, zooming out again, coming back out here. Let's see. taking a high to a low. Come on now, there we go. 1.3 cents at the 0.069. So I don't think that we do go below there. I think that we hold that as support at the very most if we were to go below there, or go lower than like 1.34 cents. Afterwards, we should recover. Afterwards, when we do recover, I would expect this 382 doesn't stand a chance, and we'll break out and go higher. Breaking out above this this central point right here would indicate that we are ready for the golden ratio. We should see a pretty immediate snap to about 2 cents, 2.1 cents, something like that. If not higher, we could go through the golden ratio on the first attempt, though that is less likely. If we're looking at this as the idea, again, of this being a inverse head and shoulders, I think that idea has gone out the window at this point in time, I would say. Unless we find support like right here, because technically, sure, this high is a little bit higher than this high. So if we had a low that was just a little bit lower, here's the low, that was just a little bit lower, sure, I suppose it makes sense. But if we go below there, that inverse head and shoulders idea is out the window. Nonetheless, we're still in some kind of low-end consolidation phase. And when we break out of this, we should get some kind of nice reaction up. I think that it would take us to about 2 cents or higher, and that all starts once we get above about 1.7 cents, which, again, 1.7 cents is that area that's right here with our 382. It's like 1.68 cents, something like that, right? 1.67 right there. So getting above that area, instrumental in taking us higher, above 2 cents, and onwards and upwards to riches and glory past that, right? It all depends on Bitcoin. It all depends on the rest of the markets too. XCN, OnyxCoin can definitely do its own thing, but typically if Bitcoin's bearish, XCN will be bearish as well. I've noticed that it likes to top off in kind of its own time frame, but it will normally bottom out with the rest of the market. It doesn't normally bottom out at a different time frame, right? Like here, April 7th, we bottomed out with the rest of the market. Here on June 22nd, we bottomed out with the rest of the market. Even going back to these further ones, like you can look at it yourself. Maybe not this, or yes, that one. Maybe not this consolidation phase, but like this one here, these lows back here. We do bottom out with the rest of the market normally, or at least closer. With the highs, we can do it before or after the rest of the market. So until the rest of the market gets moving up, to the depths we go, but the shallow ends, not really too far down. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.